Good afternoon. It is Monday. It's 12:30. We're ready for Live and LinkedIn. And ooh, it's a little bit warm, isn't it? Yeah, I hope you're somewhere where it's nice and cool and you're not sweating too much. But when we talk about sweating, we are sort of like sweating about our businesses, aren't we? And stressing that, oh, am I doing this? Am I doing that? And then we start seeing stuff online and, oh, everyone's better than me. And there's all this noise everywhere. So what do we do about the noise? How can we stop that noise, or at least turn the dial down? I wonder if I could speak with anyone who's nearby. Maybe Rebecca knows. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello. Hi, Ashley.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And I'm absolutely loving the nice warm weather. Yes.
It's glorious, isn't it? And look, I love it. Ladies get to wear all nice and, do you call it flouncy, but stuff that's not tight fitting and stuff like that. And I'm here in this t-shirt and shorts. So so enjoy a lovely flowery dress you've got on today. Just in case anybody doesn't know you, Rebecca Scoular, tell us who you are, what you do, where you are.
So I am Rebecca Scoular, and I am the founder of Progress Partners, which is a membership model, and it's for established business owners who, yes, want to cut out the noise, absolutely, as you just alluded to. And I'm based, dare I say, up in Bolton. Now, it's very green in Bolton, I will say, because we don't often get this kind of weather. So I know if it's nice in Bolton, it's nice everywhere in the UK.
So in Bolton, you're like almost right in the middle of the country, aren't you? So you're not near the coast or anything, are you?
No, we're not.
No. Bless you. This is where it's lucky you live by the sea, so you can just go and cool down, which is nice. So yeah. So is that a Bolton accent then?
I try not to. My mum used to threaten me with elocution lessons when I was at school. So I try and not pick up too much of an accent. But yes, of course, it's a northern accent.
Yeah, lovely. Well, I think we need that because that's another thing that makes us endearing to other people, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people talk about their accent. Oh, I can never run a business because I got this sort of accent. And that's just more noise, isn't it, Rebecca?
It certainly is. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what is it you actually do then? Explain it for someone with my intellect.
Oh, it's not always an easy one to explain, but it's really about getting business owners to be able to think on their business rather than be in the business. You keep saying the word the noise, and it is so true. When you are running a successful business, there's so much going on, there's so much weight that the business owner carries, and there is so many distractions going on. There's all the email, there's dealing with the team, there's of course all of the clients or the customers. There's absolutely everything, and quite often it is everybody else's priority that gets in the way. And yet what we do inside of Progress Partners is we get you to step out of your business, to think on the business rather than in the business. So you get that opportunity to have some clarity around what is important to you and make that happen.
And I guess as a business owner, we never find the time, do we? Because we're all already chasing that next client, paying that invoice, working out what we should be doing.
Absolutely. I mean, we use the word busy as like a badge of honor, I'm busy, and it's almost like something that we can be proud of. And yet that business just keeps us on that treadmill all the time. And as I say, just the things that maybe seem important or seem urgent or that's shouting the loudest, but actually none of it really tends to be our own agenda of what we know moves the needle and actually is important for the business to grow.
Yeah. So your advice is to anybody listening, watching, is to take some time off and just look at your business as a whole. How much time should we be taking off on a regular basis, Rebecca?
I mean, it feels counterintuitive, doesn't it? When you're really busy, it's almost like I don't have time to stop, but actually
No,
that
absolutely
does allow you to step back and then take the leaps forward. I mean, inside of Progress Partners, we have business partners come out of the businesses once every quarter to spend a full day thinking on the business. And often if they need to travel to that as well, that's actually an advantage, because then they're spending longer periods of time outside of the business in between that day. So that can work really well. Only once a quarter it's not enough. It's not enough. And I know that from 20 years experience that one day every quarter just isn't enough. And so inside of Progress Partners, we make it happen every single week. So every week we're stepping out of the business, even just for 30 minutes, just to regain that focus together as a community. It makes all the difference, because then the progress is continually happening. It's those, those little consistent, boring steps that we need to make sure that we're doing that, again, can very easily get lost in the noise.
Yeah. So you said 20 years experience. Tell me your brief plotted history of Rebecca.
So yes, well, we probably won't go back before those 20 years. It was quite colourful, I would say. Lots of I did put a post actually on LinkedIn about my street selling, but it's not street selling as in corner street selling, but selling on the street, things like hair products or gym products and things like that. And so I always feel that if you can sell like that, you can sell anything.
Yeah.
And then I had my own little business before I started what I would say more of this type of career, and it was doing ceiling artwork called Starry Night Ceilings. And I would travel up and down the country creating these nighttime ceilings, but I would literally be on my own all the time and painting these ceilings. And obviously I realized that wasn't quite for me. So then I found a company that is like the biggest coaching company globally, and I was with them for 18 years, left at the back end of last year. But what it allowed me to do is it allowed me to really work very closely with successful business owners. Now, I've been brought up all around entrepreneurs. Like my dad, I always call him like the ultimate Del Boy. In fact, he's probably more Del Boy than Del Boy himself.
Oh, brilliant.
All of my family are business owners. And so to be around those people and be working directly with them, helping them to build self-managing companies, just was a real natural fit to me. And I realized that I just want to spend my entire life supporting these kind of people, these entrepreneurs, or at least entrepreneurial spirited people, where they dare to dream big and they dare to make it happen. And what I found was that, this taking them out of the noise once a quarter really works, but we need to also support the in-between as well. And that's what we do inside of Progress Partners, is really supporting the entrepreneur, the person behind the business, as well as growing the business at the same time.
Yeah, but 18 years coaching all kinds of business owners, that is a serious amount of expertise there, Rebecca.
Yeah, I expect it is, absolutely. And there probably isn't anything that I haven't heard before, I must say. You can be on a call with an entrepreneur or business owner, founder, whatever we want to call it, whatever we're comfortable with, and you just never know where the conversation is going to go. But what I do know I am really good at, naturally, as in my innate kind of talent, is being able to cut through that noise, just really get them clear and get clarity. Because most of the time, as a coach, you're not giving answers, and sometimes they need the answers, but a lot of the time it's coaching it out of them, because they already know, they're an expert in their business. But again, it's giving them that space and that time to think away from that noise to actually get to the answers themselves. But yeah, the calls can be anything from being a cheerleader to a confidant to, as I say, telling them what they need to do because they're not doing it. But yeah, there's a wealth of experience behind doing that role for that length of time, for sure.
No, fantastic. And so you set up Progress Partners pretty recently then?
I did, yeah. I was working on it in the background, and in fact I was doing it as part of my role without really realizing it for a number of years. And it was really through COVID where I started upping my game and doing it without, as I say, realizing it, because I just fell in love with entrepreneurs all over again, realizing that they just, I wouldn't have wanted to have worked necessarily with the public during COVID, because a lot of people were quite low at that time, whereas I found that the business owners that I happened to be surrounded by were seeing it as opportunity. They were seeing it as a way to be able to pivot. And because of that, I just fell in love with them all over again. And so, yeah, Progress Partners is born out of my love for, as I say, that entrepreneurial spirit, and just wanting to be able to partner with them collectively as a community to be able to all progress together. And that's what is quite unique, I think, with Progress Partners is the fact that we're in it for ourselves, but we're also just as much in it for each other as well. There's a real community feel, which again is something that business owners really need, because it can be quite lonely at the top, you know, especially the more successful you get, the less people you are able to surround yourself with that really get it and really understand you.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest, that's the hardest thing that I've found out by running my own business. I'm in here on my own in a shed, and nobody knows what I'm doing. And it's only when I speak to, you know, people like you get it. You know, and I've got lots of business friends that are all doing the same thing. But I guess a community, you're all building each other up, and you know, if someone's feeling down, someone else is going to make them feel a little bit better.
Yeah, we're absolutely encouraged to lean into each other, to really get to know each other's businesses. And when you've got a challenge, you've got the support there of people that are within all different industries. But from some way, shape, or form, they've probably been there and they can give their wisdom. But at the same time, as you say, if you're wanting to celebrate something, you've got people that actually can really genuinely celebrate with you. You don't have to dim your light or lessen it at all. You actually can be inspiring to the other people in the room, and that's what we want. And they get the 3 o'clock wake ups and the sweat, blood and tears that it took to get there. And it's just lovely that you can have them on the journey, both in the good, the bad and the ugly times.
Yeah, and I think that's key, is having those people. So we're talking about noise. Where's this noise coming from, Rebecca?
Oh, I mean, let's be honest, social media, a lot of that. And as you know, you've got the everyday noise. We've got our emails, you know, their noise. And as I say, we've got the team, that can be noise. You know, business owners should be the visionaries of the business. They should not be the managers. And I think that can also get them where they're spending their time in the wrong place in their businesses. And really, a business owner should only be in their well, if we talk about zone of genius, everybody kind of understands that, or what we would call your innate ability inside of Progress Partners. It's recognizing where your magic should be, and anything else that you're doing that isn't that should be somebody else, and that should be somebody else's noise, not your noise. Otherwise, you become the bottleneck within your business and it can't grow beyond where it already is. So it's really recognizing, where are you bringing your magic? And if you're getting involved in anything that isn't bringing your magic, then it is just noise. So it can be that, but it's also the easiest ones to point out, which is the social media, which is, you know, the emails, the team members, the stuff, the messes, you know, dealing with all of that, the paperwork, that is all noise that accumulates, and then it takes us off what's actually really important, and as I say, drives the business forward.
What's the difference between an opportunity and distraction?
I think being really intentional about what it is that you're doing. You know, I mean, obviously we're talking LinkedIn here, and LinkedIn is certainly the one platform that I'm really working on. But it has to be with intention. If it's not, then you do the scrolling and you do the scrolling and you do the scrolling, and that is just a distraction. Whereas if you go in with intent, then it's a very different story. It's a very different outcome.
When you say intent, you mean like 50 minutes a day?
Well, 15 minutes a day, absolutely. I mean, gosh, I'll be glad when I can really get down to the 15 minutes a day, definitely, because I do find myself going into a time warp when it comes to LinkedIn. But yeah, being really intentional about your time. I mean, some of my members will use the Pomodoro technique, you know, where they'll have the 25 minutes possibly, or the 15 minutes, because they know you, Ashley. But again, just having that time slotted out. In fact, I've just done it beforehand. Actually, just the other day, I've started doing my posts now to go out at around 12 o'clock or 12:15. So now in my diary, I've got a 30-minute slot.
Hang on. You mean you've got two 15-minute slots? That's what
Yes,
you've got.
there you go. Two 15-minute slots to spend some time doing some commenting before the post itself goes out. So again, intentional with my time and making sure that I'm doing what I should be doing within that time period. Otherwise, I just scroll and I'll scroll if I've not really put the thought behind it as to what it is that I want to get out of it.
Yeah, and that's the same for everything that we're doing in our business, isn't it? It's sort of like, oh, I need to raise this invoice, and then you're sort of like, oh, and I need to do this invoice. That's going to get me some money in. Let's go in and do that invoice and do nothing else. And it's hard to just sort of like say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So what's your advice to those people that have too much going on?
Invoices and paperwork, for most business owners, they will procrastinate on that. So the best thing is, if you can, delegate, give it to somebody else, because again, that's most likely not going to be their magic. So yeah, getting distracted by those things that really don't give you energy, and again, drive the business forward, it shouldn't be you.
And what are the biggest mistakes you see business owners making?
I do think it's that whole doing energy. A lot of the time, we're so busy doing, and as we talked about, being busy, it's the fact that we've got to keep on doing and doing and doing, and then of course burnout starts to happen then. And I get quite upset when I see people in that position, and I know that that's what's coming, because if you don't look after yourself in the process of building the business, your body's going to shut down for you, and that is not only the biggest mistake, but the most dangerous mistake. It's making sure that you are having a life at the same time as building the business itself, and just trying to do too much, not collaborating with other people, only thinking that it has to be all you. That's a mistake that most business owners will make, especially in the early days. They think it all has to be them, and then they hold on to things, and they actually don't need to. They can spread it out to other people that are actually better at it than them. And again, so that they can home in on what they need to be doing, and making sure that they're making time to look after themselves as well as doing the doing. You also want to be a being as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But when you're running a small business, you're strapped for cash, so you haven't got the funds to employ people, and that becomes a problem. And recently I've taken on a video editor, so he does all my video editing for me, so that's a game changer. And off the back of that, I've now got a VA, so it's just letting some things go. And when I first started working with the VA, I was still checking her work and doing all those sorts of things. Do you see that? And have you got any tips for that?
100%. It is the way when you're first building and you're first starting out, you are having to do everything. You're the tea person, the coffee person, and you're also the person doing the sales, and you're the person doing the delivery. And using AI, of course, is the first thing to go to. It's like whatever you can do to simplify a process, whatever you might be able to do in terms of leaning into your network to get support from anybody that's around you. I have a virtual VA. Next year, I would definitely like to have somebody that's closer to home, more hours, but at the moment, it's just a virtual VA. But leaning into the people that we know as well is something that we might be able to do. And often it's that low-hanging fruit, or those people that are under your nose that we don't think of. We're always trying to maybe overcomplicate it, but maybe it's just about simplifying it and kind of looking at your network and who can you lean into, and maybe you can kind of help each other in terms of services as well. Would be a good way to think about how you don't do it all.
Okay, cool. Right. Tell me a little bit about your community. How does it all work? How do people join? What do we get?
So for the most part with Progress Partners, it is really, you only really know about it if you know me, or you're watching something like this at this moment in time, because it's very much about the kind of person that we bring on. It doesn't really matter what industry, it doesn't really matter where you reside. It's really about the fact that you want to invest in yourself and you want to invest in your business. You are looking already at a successful business, but you want to go to the next level. And you recognize the value of other people being around you that are like-minded, and you want to lean into their wisdom and their support. So those are the kind of people that we would take on. And there's two different elements to the membership. So we've got the entry level of the membership, which is all virtual, and the heartbeat of Progress Partners is our Wins and Wisdoms call, and they happen every week at different times in the week. So we've got one that's happening after this, where we'll come on together and we'll share a win, which is from the last 7 days, because quite often we're always moving on to the next thing. We don't give ourselves the opportunity to stop and think and consider, where did we come from, which then of course affects all of our decision making processes. It affects our mindset. We know that we have to look after that. So the win is super important, and we do that every single week. And then our wisdom, we're leaning into everybody's wisdoms and we're sharing our wisdom. So what did we learn from the last 7 days? And that can be something that was really good and went really well, and we don't want to become complacent about it. We want to recognize it and put that as part of the process. Or it's something that didn't go so well, but rather than like cry about it or be upset about it or demotivated, we can actually unpack it and create it as something like a gift for the future. And then we do our progress promise, where we're all collectively staying accountable to each other. And again, we're thinking, right, block out the noise. What is that one thing that's really important for myself and for the business in the next 7 days? And then of course we come back together the next 7 days and we share that. And then we've got monthly challenges and monthly book clubs, and we've got expert sessions, which you've been on for us as well, which was great. And then we're also starting in-person workshops as well. So starting in September, we're bringing a small group of business owners together for a full day workshop once a quarter. And that I'm really excited about. It's going to be a fabulous day every single quarter, held in London. And then they'll also get one-to-one support with myself as well throughout the quarter. And there's also leadership support as well, because of course if the entrepreneur's growing, we also need the team to be able to grow so that the whole business can grow together, and then they can also obviously tap into all of the weekly support, the monthly support as well. So it's literally daily support for our business owners to make sure that they're progressing every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year.
Yeah, that's the key thing, isn't it? It's just taking that step forward every single day. And your weekly calls, you're being held accountable to make sure that you do all that other stuff, which is absolutely fantastic. No, it's superb. We're nearly at time, but we do this thing called roast your post, okay? And so I want to know if it's okay to roast one of your posts. So if you've got a post that you've done recently, I'm not going to be lovely. I'm going to be absolutely lovely. But what I want to know is, have you got a post that we can share online and talk about it?
Yeah, the one that I was thinking of, because you did mention that we were going to do this. So the one that I was thinking of, which surprised me, took me by surprise. I'd gone to an event with a good friend, Sarah Jepson, who I know you know.
Yeah.
And I just put a post on I think it was about a week ago, and there's been 1,170 something impressions on there. And I think I said about 28 new followers. Now I mentioned Sarah on there. Obviously it was an event, but as I say, I didn't really think too much of it, but it managed to reach the reach that I'm looking for, rather than my average, which at the moment I must admit is probably around the 500 impression at this moment in time.
Okay, well, let's have a look. Here we go. Let's share that post. There we are. There's you smiling with the lovely Sarah, and you've tagged her in the post. You can tell within minutes whether a room is going to give or take. That's a nice hook. I like that hook. So that helps. And then you told us a little bit about 6 Degrees, who was there. So you're talking about the venue's nice as well. So the venue, the lighting, the food, the team quietly making it run, everything considered, you can feel the care in it. And that, we're all resonating with that. We're coming on this journey with you. And so that you've asked some questions, maybe because the intention was set clearly from the start. And that's a great thing, isn't it? When we see something, you look at these amazing menus and the food that they bring out. If they just, slopped it on a plate, it doesn't. But if they've spent a bit of time making it, I think that's the thing, and we all resonate with that. So that's great.
Yeah.
And you've left it with a question. When did a room last surprise you like that? So I'm now going to go on there and go, oh, I was at this event and that happened and this happened. So yeah, absolutely superb. What you've also done is you've done some photos as well. It's very, very important that you share photos of you so that we get to recognize you, because people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. Some photo of amazing food. I wonder if we can click on that and go and have a look at that food. That is incredible food, and the view's pretty good as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And all the flowers. So just showing the care and attention. So yeah, it's not surprising that it's done really well. Did you say you've got some new followers from that as well?
Yeah, I think about 28 followers, which
Wow.
is fabulous. Yeah,
Yeah, that's really good.
1 or 2 a post normally, so to get to 28 is fantastic. Yeah.
And what you've also done, because you've done more than one photo, people are stopping and looking at those photos, which sends a message to LinkedIn saying that people are looking at this. All right. So what I'd have done strategically is had a couple of other selfies with some other people, and if there was a speaker, taking a photo of them as well, and had a few more photos, maybe of the crowd and stuff like that, because then someone else looking at this again, oh, what's Sarah up to? Because we're all nosy. All right. And so, oh, what's Sarah up to? And they're going, oh, Sally was there as well. Oh, and Judith and Katie, and seeing all those other people. And so that gives them FOMO, but it also lets us see what sort of people are going to these events.
Yeah.
So that's another good tip to get.
Definitely, because I was never sure whether actually doing more photos than just the one was a bad thing, whereas now I know that actually doing multiple photos is a good thing. So that's really good to know.
No, it really, really does work. I was at Atomicon last week, and they've just released the video to tell everybody how brilliant it was. And somebody I know tagged me in the post. It tagged me in the comment because they saw me in the video. So that is so you know, people will see this video and go, oh, I wonder who was there. Okay, and so you're going to stop and watch that video. And so that's the key thing with videos and photos, because people want to see what you're doing. So yeah, well done. That's a great post. And to get all those followers off the back of that is absolutely fantastic. Now, the next thing you want to be doing is reaching out to those followers and say, thank you very much for following me. It'd be great to connect. And if they are your ideal person to connect with.
Yeah, which is something I'm very guilty of not doing. You know,
no, because it's cringy. It's cringy, isn't it? It's cringy. And what you've got to think about is we want to link with people, hence calling this Live and Linking. We want to link with people. And so don't just let them follow you. Why not connect? And the benefit of them connecting with you is they get to see more of your content. You get to see their content, and then you can also DM each other. And so when you know, joint opportunities come along, you know, they might have seen another of your posts and they're like, oh, I'm interested in your progress partners. They can't DM you because they're not connected. So make it a little bit easier for them. So yeah, that's some top tips for you today, Rebecca. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Absolutely, always.
Superb. That's it for the show. Like I said at the beginning, in 2 minutes I'll be saying we're done. We've done 30 minutes. How was it for you?
It went super quick. It felt like it was 15 minutes, Ashley. Absolutely. I think I might patent that. Rebecca, you've been an absolutely fantastic guest today. You've shared a lot of value. Thank you very much indeed. Any parting words of wisdom before you disappear? Just enjoy. Just keep things simple and enjoy what it is that you're building.
Oh, I love that. And how can people get hold of you?
They can get hold of me. Oh gosh.
LinkedIn. They're going to get hold of you on LinkedIn.
There we go.
You've got a fantastic LinkedIn profile. Right, before we say goodbye, next week I have got a lovely Tracy Irwin. Now she is my accountability buddy. We meet up every single week and have a good old chat. But she is incredible when it comes to money mindset. So looking forward to giving her a proper grilling next week. So that's next week, same time. Rebecca, you've been an absolute superstar. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Cheerio. Thank you so much for watching or listening to my show this week. I want to bring to you people that can help us running our business. I love having a chat. I'm very nosy, very curious, and I'd love to ask questions. So if you want to be a guest, or if you've got some ideas for guests, let me know. And if you want me to help you with your LinkedIn, get in touch, because I want to give you a voice. Now, that could just be using LinkedIn, but I do other things as well. So I can help you with a podcast, a live show, and all kinds of other amazing things. So get in touch. My name is Ashley Leeds. I'm the 15-minute guy, and you can find me on LinkedIn.